First of all, welcome to SkyDeck and to the Berkeley Science Fellows Program. What we've been trying to do at the Science Fellows Program is we are trying to connect postdocs to startup companies working here at SkyDeck. We have about 3,000 postdocs on campus at Berkeley, and about 1,000 or 1,500 postdocs are at LBNL. And a lot of us try to look for opportunities when we are postdocing, try to get that real-world experience of solving problems. I was a postdoc here, and I was looking for those things, but no program existed back in the day. And that is what led us to start this program, the Berkeley Science Fellows Program. I will talk more details about it, but we have Caroline Winnett. She's the director for this place. I'll let her talk about SkyDeck and what they do here, and then we can go on to the program.
Okay, thanks so much.
Please.
Welcome, everybody. Everybody who's a postdoc, I think that's pretty much most of the people in here. New to the program, right? I know there's some returning folks. Who's been a postdoc before? Raise your hand. As part of the science fellow before. Our folks here. All right, all new recruits. Yeah. Excellent. So I'm Caroline Winnett. I'm the director here. I'm a Haas alum. I'm a Berkeley alum. Part of a third generation family. My son is a freshman here, so we're pretty into Berkeley. And what is SkyDeck? Where are we? This is campus space. It's not campus-owned property. It's leased by the university. Important, so that everything done here is IP-free. And what we do is we accelerate and incubate startups coming both from Berkeley and coming to Berkeley. So some of the founders here are international. They come from outside the US to connect with our ecosystem. And some of them are from Berkeley, from our labs or other UC campuses. We are now open to Berkeley founders, all UC campus founders, Lawrence Berkeley Lab, of course, the Welcome Berkeley Lab postdocs, and global founders. And in this building, we have 2 floors. This top floor, not too shabby with the views, huh? Great place to hang out. And the 3rd floor, why the 3rd floor? You might ask, it has the building's only deck. So we have the sky and the deck. I think these things through. We're about to open some co-working space in San Francisco and some space on campus for students to work out of. So we have 2 tracks here. We have an accelerator track, and these are the companies you'll be meeting tonight. They spend 6 months here. They go through the Berkeley acceleration method. It's quite intense. There's quite a lot of support, resources. We have a full-time staff of 5. We're just hiring a 5th person, by the way, breaking news. We'll be starting next week. And most importantly, they receive funding from the Berkeley SkyDeck Fund, which is a dedicated venture capital fund. It's all private VC money that's investing in all the startups here, $100,000. And the great thing about the fund is it shares half of fund carry, which is fund profits, with campus. So as you help these companies and they grow up and succeed, and they get acquired, they IPO and all that great stuff, money comes back to Berkeley to help support more of this. So that's our accelerator track program. We also have an incubator track program. We call them hot deskers. They work out of the space here or on the 3rd floor. They're not formally accelerated. They don't receive that initial investment. But the Berkeley SkyDeck Fund is looking for investments among them. But we're starting with connecting you to our cohort teams. Those are the ones that you're going to meet tonight. They're super cool. They're from around the world. We've got everything from consumer apps to a chip company, biosciences, biotech, medical device, robots. You've probably seen some of the robots around here. We've got it all. So as a Berkeley program, we really do focus on science and tech. We love it. We have the resources as Berkeley to support them. And this program is a really exciting addition to what we do here. I don't think there's any other accelerator in the world that can say, we have access to the world's smartest postdocs to come and work with our startups. I really think, actually, this is the only program like it in the world. And it is a huge value add to the startups here, to the community here, and we hope it'll be great for you. Professional development, find out about startups. Do you want to be a founder? Do you just want to participate in what we're doing here? We really want this to be value add for you. And the university is very excited about this as well, because it provides more content for you folks to do. So I'm always available to answer questions. Please reach out and meet our startups. They're the coolest thing around here. And we hope to see lots of you here soon. So, thanks so much.
All right. So, the reason we are here is because the program was built for postdocs. We have a two-pronged mission that we're going after. One is to provide the transitionary experience for postdocs while still being a postdoc. I think a lot of us, I was a postdoc, my name is Naresh, and I was trying to become a faculty like a lot of the postdocs, and then I didn't know how the industry worked, and I wish I could actually work for a startup where it is fast-paced than in academia. So that was the background, and then what we found was the startup companies here mostly have like 2 or 3 co-founders. They don't have enough people or enough money to hire smart people like us. So we thought here's an opportunity, and let us create a platform where startups can put out problem statements, a small statement like a protein purification or how to write a program or whatever they're dealing with. They're going to build small projects that postdocs can actually choose and work on over a period of like 3 to 6 months. And then, I call it a try before you buy model. You don't know if you're going to like the startup companies and vice versa. If the startup companies don't like you as a postdoc, you don't have to work together. You can get out of that relation. But during that process, you'll have experience working with smart people and also looking at the startup companies and how they work. So I want both the startups and the postdocs to benefit from the program. And for the startup companies, these are the best postdocs in the world. We have 3,000 postdocs. They're coming from MIT, Beijing, Japan, you name it. They're coming from the best universities. So treat them with respect. Everybody treat each other with respect. Startups are under time crunch. They're under tremendous pressure to show progress. And postdocs, they are answerable to their PIs. There's a boss. If the PI says work in the lab for 24 hours a day, they'll have to work. So that they say come into the lab for a group meeting in the middle of the night. I used to do that. So things are not in their hands sometimes. So that is the only word of caution that I want to communicate to you guys, that please communicate well. So the expectation is right. Here's our team. Gaia, she used to be a science fellow. She used to work with a couple of startup companies previously. Where's Gaia? Oh, she was right here. Sorry. Yeah. Eduardo, you must have seen him downstairs waiting and sending you guys upstairs. So these are all volunteers. They are postdocs, full-time postdocs volunteering their time to help each other. Eva and Ariane, they're both traveling right now, but you'll see them soon. We have 22 startup companies that you can pick and choose from. If you get a chance, go to BPEP.berkeley.edu. There's a tab there for Berkeley Science Fellows Program. It was included in the e-Vite that I sent you guys. Take a look at the startup companies. They actually put up small projects that you can actually pick and work on. Okay. One thing we found was you might be working on some data analysis in a biology lab, but then that data analysis part can be applied to some of the startup company as well. So come with an open mind. We have a lot of postdocs doing that. Maybe Gaia can share experiences. Maybe you can tell what your PhD was in and what you worked on. Just people.
Yeah. So I have a PhD in genomics. So it's sequencing of DNA and analysis of genetics data. I firstly joined the program and I was matched to a startup that was analyzing microbiome. So I was able to apply my programming skills to another species. It wasn't human, but another species. Then I joined the second startup named Awakens, which was in line of my PhD experience. So both were great experiences. Now I know what I like, what I don't like, and how to manage time. So don't be scared if the project you think might not align with what you have done during your PhD or during your postdoc. Skills are transferable, and as Naresh said, you can try, see if it works, and if it doesn't, there is an easy way out. Just say thank you, and that's it. But you give it a go, at least.
Yes. So we've seen people postdocing in economics doing something else, something for a social media company, because they study economics and social behaviors. So think outside the box, outside of what you're doing right now. See if you can apply any of your skills to any of the startup companies that are listed, and fill in the application. And what we will do is we will connect you guys via email to the startup founders. You will be working most of the time with the CEOs and CTOs, so you'll have first-hand access to what is going on in the startup companies. And I think everybody that worked benefited. Eduardo is other team member that is helping us run. Eduardo, maybe you can talk about your experience as a science fellow.
Yeah, sure.
Why don't you tell them what you're postdocing in and which company you work for?
Hi, so my name is Eduardo. I'm a postdoc at the Plant and Microbial Biology department, and I participated in the Science Fellow program early this year. And I collaborated with a company that's called Next Biotics, and what they were trying to do is to kill antibiotic-resistant bacteria through engineering viruses that only affect bacteria. So they deliver a protein that will kill the antibiotic-resistant bacteria. So the thing is, my background was mostly molecular biology. I worked mainly with plants, so for me it was a new field. But I was able to apply my knowledge and my expertise, helping them modify these viruses so they were more stable in the conditions they wanted to use them. So I think I kind of knew, but until at that time I didn't know. As a postdoc, you are more a problem solver more than, you're an expert in your field, but you're also a problem solver. And that's very useful for the companies, because even if it's not your main field, you can apply your knowledge for their specific problem. So what I like to say to the postdocs is, don't focus only on what you are comfortable with. Try, to look in other companies, other things you could try to do, because you could be helpful for these companies.
Good, thank you. Yeah, think of it as pro bono consulting, or you're an advisor to the startup company, and you'll work on things that you're comfortable with. Sometimes you might be helping them with writing a grant, or reviewing a grant for them, or helping them write a protocol. There was a company last semester, Sublime Therapeutics. They came in with a strategy, they got some money, but then they worked with 6 postdocs. At the end of 3 months, they changed their whole strategy. So they changed the protocol, they changed the targets, just because they were working with the postdocs. So you have that capability of explaining what you think might be wrong or right, or you change the pathway, and they will actually want to hire those people. Think of, again, try before you buy. It's free. So come in, like I said, one thing is communication is very, very important. A startup company might say like, hey, we have a startup meeting at 10 o'clock in the morning. And you say yes, but then your boss says, your PI says like, no, you have a group meeting at 10 o'clock. So you go for a group meeting first. So make sure you communicate well with the startup companies, because we had some tensions previously that they're not communicating properly and they'll take it the wrong way. And startup founders, be open. They're all going to sign an NDA. It's a non-disclosure agreement that you'll keep the secrets with yourself, and then so that you can discuss your technology openly, and that way they'll help you really well. Okay. One startup company didn't want to tell anything about the startup technology, and they were like not getting enough help. It was like not a pleasant experience for them. So it goes both ways. And also for postdocs, if you actually want to get involved in the business side of the startup company, I think if you want to sit down with the investors when the CEO is talking with them, I'm sure they'll be more than happy to take you and show you off too. You'll add strength to that team as well, to the technology side. So you can learn about the startup skills. The time range, it goes from 3 months to 12 months. It depends on your availability and what the startups are doing, how long they're going to be here. And we try to make this very flexible. I know you have a full-time postdoc job. Try to spend 4 to 5 hours a week. It can be evenings or weekends. You might spend more. I have a couple of postdocs. They have more time they can spend with the startup company. Again, it depends on you guys, but at least 4 to 5 hours of commitment is going to be important. And how you work it out with the startup company. Let them know what you will be able to do and what you won't be able to do, and take it from there. You can get involved in the product development, troubleshooting, grant writing, presentations. I know you all can make some kick-ass presentations. If you can help the startup companies that way, that's fine too. What are the benefits to postdocs? Gain experience in a non-academic environment, which are much fast-paced. Money drives these startup companies because if they don't bring in enough money, the company will crash. So they tend to work much harder. Or they're like postdocs or grad students. We work longer hours and we are focused. So you can just translate that experience to this. Think beyond publications. Most of our research work ends up either in publication, some go to a patent, and then nobody looks at them afterwards. That's what happened to mine. I don't know about you guys, but I'll talk about myself. That's what happens. And if you actually want to start a company, this might be a way to get your hands dirty. SkyDeck is open to all kinds of startup companies. They have fantastic mentors and resources. So I don't know. I got my entrepreneurship bug here after I was a postdoc, and I started my own company, my own startup company. So you might want to start a company. If you want to start a company, come talk to us. We'll put you in touch with SkyDeck or any other resources on campus. We do that as well. You can add it to your work experience. It goes to your resume as an intern at a startup company. It's going to make you stand out from your fellow postdocs. So please do, and you can get a recommendation letter either from SkyDeck or from the Office of the Vice Chancellor for Research. That is what is funding this program. So use this opportunity. And if nothing, a satisfaction of helping a startup company or somebody in need. You'll definitely get all those things. And this is something I want to make it very clear. Your primary goal here is for your postdoc research. That is primary. Do that first, and this is secondary. I don't want to give an impression that you can leave your postdoc work and work here, because that is, like I say, university rules and lab rules.
Are you taking questions?
Oh, sure, yeah,
Okay.
of course.
So, Naresh, could you speak a little bit? Many of us are internationals.
Yeah.
Is that even allowed?
Yeah, so we're not paying anybody any money. So some companies wanted to offer equity and money. We could do that if you're a citizen or a green card holder. You can do those things, but if you're an international student, you're not supposed to be getting paid. So that is a limitation. So we said, let's go pro bono. Okay, so no money is being exchanged to you folks. Maybe it will translate into a job afterwards if you like it. So that is something. Yeah, please feel free to stop anytime. Yeah, so nobody's getting paid. I don't want to set any wrong expectations there either. This is purely for experience and for startup companies getting help. Expectations and responsibilities for startup companies. It'll be very helpful if the startup companies can actually, you're solving big problems. These postdocs are only here for some time. You're only here for some time. Pick what is important for you and see what can actually be done by working with the postdocs. Let them tell you how much time they need to solve the problem. You're free to take more than one postdoc because we have a lot more postdocs than startup companies. Last semester we had a couple of startup companies taking 6 or 8 postdocs, which is good. They get to brainstorm, they get to learn from each other. So, don't feel restricted there. I think I mentioned that all these postdocs are governed by the PI's rules. So please be respectful of their times. Provide feedback. Provide feedback. If you're not understanding something, please ask them back. Or you'll have one of our team members as leads. They will be working with you. They'll review the program with you guys. They'll talk to you once a month. Get feedback. This is the second time we're doing this. It's a new program. So we're trying to improve that as well. So the more you give us feedback, the better we can get. Yeah, if the startup companies, if the postdocs want to get involved in something more on the business side, give them a chance. They'll get to learn. They want to sit in on a meeting and listen to how you're talking to an investor, how you're pitching. Please. General notes to postdocs and the startup companies. Gather information and provide information as much as you can. The more information you provide, the more help you'll get. Like I said, the team members, the Science Fellows members, we will be assigned to you guys, to postdocs and to the startup companies. They'll be the point of contact. If there is an issue, please let us know immediately so we can resolve it, or else we'll keep continuing the program. Yeah, we can sign up the science fellows for 3 months to begin with, because the way the startup companies work is they're here for about 6 months and they have a pitch day where they present to the investors and they move on. Okay, so we're coming a bit late into the semester, but if the startups are around, if they want to continue working with you postdocs, they're free to work with you guys. And again, it depends on your availability. Everybody will sign an NDA, Non-Disclosure Agreement. This was drafted by the lawyers at SkyDeck. So it was 2 points we wanted to cover. One, the postdocs, because any intellectual property developed at the university, it belongs to the university. And for the startup companies, any IP that is generated goes to the startup company. So we have to have a balancing act. If you think you're contributing too much to the intellectual property, you can sit down and talk, and some companies end up giving equity when they leave. So there are things we can do. Again, that is why we have point of contacts. So keep us informed. I leave you guys there. If you have any questions, we can take. I know some of the startup CEOs are here. Some of them have to leave soon. What I would like to request them is give a 2-minute pitch about the startup companies. So you know what is happening, and then they can hang out afterwards. You guys can talk to them. If you're interested in more than one startup, please give it a shot. Talk to more founders. I don't think everybody is here today, all the startups, but we will make it. When you finish your application form, we will connect you to the startup companies. Okay? And set up meetings, and we'll sit with you guys. Vimana, you guys want to?
Well, we changed names, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
I'll go first.
Yeah. Why don't you get?
Rush, can I quickly pull something up?
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you. How do you get out of
Skip
it?
it.
Makes sense. Okay.
If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. We'll be hanging out after this program as well. Stay back, talk to the founders.
Hi guys, I'm Joel. I'm the CTO of Predictum. We try to quantify someone's personality using their digital footprint. Currently, we pull their Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We run all sorts of NLP on it and kind of figure out how to score them in specific categories. Those reports on the screen are for babysitters. So the first market that we're attacking is hiring babysitters. And so for hiring babysitters, what we're looking at is bullying and harassment, because kids really care, or they start to mimic their babysitter, and parents really don't want their kids to be bullies. We look at drug abuse. Neither Trump nor Obama is using hard drugs. Bad attitude. I think Trump almost broke the scale. And then explicit content, which could be sexual stuff. So for drug abuse and explicit content, those are done using computer vision. And disrespectful and and bullying are done using natural language processing. So some of our biggest technical challenges are the natural language processing problems. For computer vision, we actually outsource it to Google, but we definitely need help with natural language processing. So if you're interested in doing social media analysis or analyzing someone's blog posts to try to quantify their personality, come talk to me because it's a cool project.
Do you have a science fellow working with you?
Yes,
SART?
we have.
Can you talk about SART? How we
Sure.
do it, maybe?
Yeah, we currently have one science fellow with us right now. He has a background in credit risk modeling. So what he's been really helpful with is taking the output from our NLP classifiers and then turning that into a risk score. So like the overall score that you see right next to Trump and Obama, about how do we generate that score? Because for aggression, there's no fundamental unit of aggression. You can't say Naresh, he's 10 aggros. No such thing exists. So we then have to take a sampling of the whole population of the United States and then try to score someone relative to everybody else. And so he's been quite a huge help with risk modeling and that sort of stuff.
Thank you. Yeah.
Do you think that your model assumes that people are unidimensional?
Can you elaborate on that just a little bit?
Like, unidimensional, like you're assuming that someone's online behavior is the same as their in-person behavior?
Well, we analyze them based on their online behavior. We're still waiting to see how that correlates to the real world. We do piggyback off of a lot of existing resources or research. So, for example, psychometrics for loan defaults, we can calculate that from their social media. But as far as being a bully in person, as we start growing, we get outcomes. So if someone hires a babysitter with a risk score of 22, we find out, okay, does this person, are they a good babysitter? And then we can start back correlating that. We've done several case studies with people who are currently in jail for child abuse, and we found that they do come out as abusive and aggressive through our system. But
those people aren't trying to get hired as babysitters either.
Who?
Those people aren't trying to get hired as babysitters either.
They were babysitters.
Yeah.
Like they're babysitters who are currently in jail and that had public social media accounts. We pull their social media to analyze that. But to answer your question, that's one problem that we're working on, is figuring out how does social media relate to you and as a real person.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. Yeah. Who wants to go next? Sure, you can fill it out if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, our website doesn't say much.
Naresh, would it help if every entrepreneur says whether they want technical, business, or design as a help?
Sure. Whoever is here, they will address that, but then the website clearly has all those requirements. Please take a look at it. And yeah.
Sure. Hi everyone, my name is Santiago. I'm co-founder of Skywell, and what we do is we work on spaceborne communications. We are enhancing communications from space to Earth and space to space. The reason why we're doing this was we started with a very simple question, and the question was, have you ever wondered why Google Earth is not real time? When you usually open Google Earth, people go and look at their home for some reason, and you always find out, you realize that the picture is very old, several months old in the majority of the times, and sometimes a year. The reason why that happens is because there is a huge bottleneck in space to Earth communications. So my background is in satellite design, manufacturing, and testing, so I've worked as an engineer developing satellites. In Argentina, you may have picked that up from the accent. So what we're doing is we will be providing a very high throughput communication services by using lasers, optical communications. So what we're doing now is working on a prototype of the optical communication systems. Instead of getting the data just from a satellite in low Earth orbit back to Earth, we will beam the signal up to a much higher geostationary orbit where we will have our own satellite. That satellite will get the information using an optical link from low Earth orbit to geostationary orbit, and then we'll beam the information using another optical link from geo to ground. So we're talking about optical communication systems where the signal travels 22,000 miles, and it's a very, very high throughput service. So we're designing and building this entire system, and we're currently ongoing with this prototype. So we're looking for more technical people I don't remember who asked for. So, experts in optics, photonics, optical communications, of course, robotics, electronics, signal processing. Those kind of areas are of interest to us, and that's it.
So I don't have anything to bring up.
That's fine.
Because
You're good.
working on our website. So I'm Janine Winslow, and I'm the founder and CEO of Chameleon Biosciences. We are a next generation gene therapy company, so that means that we are working on next generation viruses. These are engineered viruses that don't cause disease, but now instead deliver a therapeutic gene to correct for a genetic disease. For example, hemophilia. We've cured adults of hemophilia by treating them with gene therapy by replacing their defective clotting factor genes with correct versions of the genes. So we're working on, we now know it works very well in the clinic for several diseases. Hemophilia, a congenital form of blindness that affects children. We've restored sight, not we, investigators in clinical trials, have restored sight to children. That product just received market approval. That virus is injected into retinal cells in the eye, intravitreal injections. There's another gene therapy that's undergoing clinical trials that's been spectacularly successful in saving children who were dying of a rare genetic disease. And normally these children would be dead in 2 years. There are children that are 4 and 5 years old, starting school and reaching normal developmental milestones. So it's pretty powerful what we can do. The problem is current technologies, the viruses, are the shuttles that we use to get the genes into the right cells in the patient. And these current engineered viruses don't work very efficiently. It takes very high doses to get clinical efficacy, and they cause a strong immune response. They're immunogenic. So this limits the numbers of patients that we can treat. So far, right now, for example, in the hemophilia population, we can only treat about 22% of the patients. Using our technology, 45% of the patients. Using our technology, we can double that to 90% because we can treat adults that had pre-existing immunity and children that can't be treated. Current technologies can't treat children. The reason is we can only deliver a single dose because of immunogenicity, so we can only target tissues that aren't growing. In children with hemophilia, the livers is still growing, so we can't treat them until their livers are mature. We can only treat adults. The children that have been treated with gene therapy, the cells targeted in those instances were neurons that don't divide rapidly, if at all. And so they expect long-term clinical efficacy because the type of virus they're using would get diluted out otherwise. So we're looking for people to help us technically in the lab. It's really a multidisciplinary field. We do a lot of basic biochemical techniques, ELISAs, and any molecular biologists. We need a qPCR assay developed or digital PCR, either way. And we're also looking for immunologists. What we are doing is making viruses that are less immunogenic. And we're doing that by learning lessons from tumors that have evaded immune responses by putting proteins on their surface. We're taking the same proteins that tumors use that cause our immune systems to not be able to fight off the tumors and putting them on our viruses. So now immune systems can't fight off the virus. So we're looking for virology background. We need to do there's a whole host of things that we need to do if you're interested at all in product development and process development for gene therapy. The diseases, we're working on our hemophilia, as well as a neurodegenerative disease called Niemann-Pick type C. So the target there will be brain cells. We're also looking for someone who would be willing to help us write an SBIR grant for the Niemann-Pick program. We're willing to pay for you to go through the SBIR course that's sponsored by QB3. It starts, I think it's September 27th here on campus. And I took that course a year ago. It's actually quite good. So we would be happy to pay for someone to take that and then work with them to write a grant for a filing deadline of February, I think early February or January, actually January. So we're looking for technical grant writers. If you're interested in gene therapy, though, I'm happy to talk to you about business development. We have an interesting business model that we're toying with, where we're considering setting up an umbrella company and having each program being a subsidiary company, and there's a lot of advantages for that for the employees of the companies, but we're sort of tossing that around. So anyone that's interested, just let me know. I'm Janine Winslow. My co-founder also is here, but not right now, Laura Carell.
Great, thank you. Any other startups?
Hi everybody. Hello. I'm Chris. You've called me just in time. I actually have to fly back to Australia tomorrow to go and organise my visa to come back here. I'm one of 4 co-founders at Hum. The other 3 are either on their way back to Australia or already there right now. We are a cognitive improvement company. So what we've seen in the last few years is that and really in our generation, that the world is increasingly moving at a faster pace, and that AI and computers are becoming more and more increasingly powerful. And yet, our human brain stays exactly the same. What we're working on at Hum is technology which improves the brain. We're building software which tracks cognitive performance and hardware which directly improves particular cognitive functions, mainly associated with working memory. We have a proof of concept prototype which we developed back in association with our university in Australia, which showed a 16% increase in working memory. And we're over here at SkyDeck to try and commercialize that technology. In terms of postdocs, we're currently working with a postdoc from Berkeley, and she has an astronomy background actually, but she's helping us, and some of her signal processing skills have been transferred over, and she's been an awesome help for the last few weeks. So particularly we'd be looking at anybody who is interested in the space, has a background in either neuroscience or electronics or software or signal processing, and potentially even design as well, because we are looking at consumer applications. Thank you.
Any more startups?
So I'm Brian Cohen from Predictive. It's PredictDV. There's another startup called PredictDim, but we're two separate things. I just want to thank you guys for coming. This is super impressive, and it's just great that you guys are interested in what we're doing. So we are solving the problem of who to trust on the internet when you want to invest your money, and that goes across different verticals. So we're starting with sports betting. Later it'll be financial markets like stocks and currencies, cryptocurrencies, and then political predictions. And how do we do that? So we leverage high-performance, fee-free blockchain technology to incentivize users to share their insights and their expertise across these various fields. And we present this in a gamified environment where it's supposed to be fun to interact with the community who cares about the things that you care about. So let me just pull it up. We've been working really hard for the last year on this, and we have our MVP up and running. So
what is that MVP?
MVP, minimum viable product. So basically, we're trying to get something out the door that's usable. And so you'll see that here. And so if you scroll through, you'll see some different predictions. You can support your prediction with any type of insight that you want or none at all. But the idea is that the crowd will assess whether or not they think you actually have expertise in what you're talking about. And they'll vote for you with their stake. The stake is the new token that we've created. And then that creates a magnitude for the rewards of your post. And then your ultimate payout is determined by the accuracy of your prediction as well as the magnitude. So we've already been using this. We have some game elements involved. You can see the jackpot over here where you're trying to string a bunch of correct predictions together. And then if you reach certain thresholds, you earn a payout. We've actually been working with a PhD candidate out of UCLA, and he's been super instrumental in helping us build out the blockchain tech. So it's a new blockchain. We don't build on top of Ethereum or anything like that. And unfortunately, this PhD student is taking a job elsewhere pretty soon. So we're looking for computer science researchers, people interested in blockchain. We're in a test net right now. We're going to be taking this live in a main net soon. So there's things that we need to do like stress testing, auditing the software that we've built. We're also looking for people in economics to help us build out the token economy and basically verify that the things that we're doing make sense. And we're very deficient in design. We're a bunch of tech and enthusiasts in the space, so we would love to work with you guys on that as well. So yeah, thanks again, and really looking forward to getting to know some of you guys.
Thank you.
So hi, my name is Pierre, and I work at Snipfeed. I'm one of the co-founder. And what we do is that we are doing a recommendation system for news and information for the new generation. So the project started as like an AI tutor. We wanted to do like an AI that could answer questions to students and everything. And while working with that, we saw that they had a huge problem with information, since their first source of information is Instagram, and then comes Snapchat. So we kind of use the social media rules of the young people to do a news recommendation system. So it's a bot, and we have some problematics now. So the recommendation, of course, needs to be very accurate, since now it's a bot. So you need to push content that the people will actually like, and we would like to work with people that have skills in NLP to do a stance detection for article. So that is with two articles, if one is according to the other, if they're talking about the same thing or different things. So that's a good thing for the recommendation. And the second thing is have the political bias of an article. That is, if one article is more like Democrat or Republican, that could help a lot for the recommendation also. Okay. Thank you.
Any more startups?
Hi, I'm David from CoolJam. We are developing musical AI. We want to help people to create their own music easily. We are working on two different projects. One is Hum On. I can show you a demo. It's a simple music creation app. If I hum into my smartphone, it transcribes my melody and turns the tune into score. And if I pick a genre, it automatically accompany the melodies. I can show you.
I think you structured the problem.
I'm so shy. And then it turns my melody to score. And I will choose a genre. Hip hop. Chill out. And 8-bit game family. With the same melody, you can generate different styles of music. We use machine learning technology, so if you are interested in music and at the same time you have experience in machine learning.
Any technical skills that you're looking for? Specific technical skills.
MIR, music information retrieval, it's about turning the audio signal into symbolic data, and the other thing is machine learning using MIDI, symbolic data, MIDI or music XML. So please come to me and have a chat.
Okay.
Can I do a quick minor plug here? Yes. Minor plug. Hi, I'm Brian. I work for the Berkeley SkyDeck Fund. We invest in all these wonderful teams, videos. I'm hosting a career fair on September 12th. It connects postdocs one-on-one with startup founders. Many of these startup founders have already got their PhD from Berkeley, and they're looking to hire some really smart people, solving really cool problems around AI, space, robotics, and such. So I have to go home, but this is something that people should consider. Right there. Okay. Thank you. Invite only. Bye. All right. Bye.
Hi all, my name is Maciek. I'm from Researchably. I'm one of the co-founders. So what Researchably does is information extraction from latest research papers in life sciences. So basically we all know, because I'm sure all of you are researchers, that finding the right information in the research papers is quite a struggle. You need to do a lot of searching, a lot of keyword matching. Well, so it happens that it's even a bigger problem for pharmaceutical companies and even for everyone else who wants to stay updated with the latest research information, like doctors or even patients themselves. So what we do is we have built some really cool natural language processing that automatically sieves through the research papers and extracts relevant information from those. Right now we provide them to the pharmaceutical companies. So what we really are looking for are people who have some experience in natural language processing. We face sort of the challenges that we face are really the state-of-the-art problems in NLP, like stuff like reference resolution, on sentence negation. We are building the data sets ourselves, so one of the bigger problems in life sciences is that the number of data sets for NLP is really, really limited, and if any one of you is doing any research in that area, will see that for yourself, that publicly there are almost no data sets available. So we have our own medical team of experienced students who are basically labeling our research papers so that, you know, if you want to have a look at the data set and if you think that that can be beneficial to you in any sort of way, we can obviously provide that to you. On a completely different perspective, if you have no clue about NLP, but you're interested in this sort of business perspective, interested in sales, especially to pharma companies, we are looking into increasing our funnel of the incoming clients. So this is something that we could get we could use some help from as well. Awesome, thank you.
Great, thank you.
Hello, I'm Simba. I'm here with Triton. We help news companies. Everyone's kind of moving digital now, and you've definitely seen those paywalls that pop up after you look at a few articles. There's a lot of turbulence there, and people are trying to figure out how do we monetize digital. We provide them tools, mostly around personalization, to allow them to get people to kind of increase reader loyalty, get people to come and stay and find kind of the long tail of content that they wouldn't otherwise find, not just come and skim your headlines and leave. So a lot of really hard challenges there. I don't know about you all, but I don't want an AI telling me everything I read. So a lot of what we do is around augmenting the editorial team and allowing them to understand the machine learning and control it so they get the right experience. So there's a lot of a balancing act there, a lot of stuff around interpretability on the tech side, a lot of stuff around, so lots of it's UX problems, some of it's taking data and then build a model and making it interpretable. On the other front, we do a lot, and we talk to news companies day in and day out. We have a lot of data from there that we do other interesting things with. So anyone who's really interested in kind of the business case, someone who's really interested in kind of the future of news and digital journalism and publications, please come talk to me, even if it's not for this stuff. If you're just interested in talk, yeah, I'll be here after.
Any specific technical skills that you're looking for?
Yeah, if you have experience in interpretability, definitely come speak to me. Any experience in taking, especially user behavior data, and making it ingestible to a user. Lots of it's very unstructured, taking pretty much lots of vectors and clustering them together and finding useful information and making it presentable to a non-technical person. Yeah, stuff around that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry, just come up and...
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Anyway, I'm with Peanut Robotics. We're working on a robotic system, which is an arm on a mobile base. It's going to be able to do commercial cleaning and bathroom cleaning. The key technology that we're developing, and I'm on the technology side, so sorry if the pitch here is not the most slick, but the key technology we're developing is around wiping. Doing Cartesian paths in space and wiping, and grasping, so being able to pick up arbitrary objects. These things involve some deep learning, computer vision type stuff, and optimization. So on the technical side, we'd love help with who has backgrounds in, formal methods or convex optimization, physics or math type people. On the product side, we are looking for people to help with outreach and interviewing to different potential customers and really helping to understand what is the workflow of this robot. There's this understanding that the robot's going to have to be in and around humans, and it's going to be, for example, working. The robot's not going to do everything. It's going to be a productivity booster. And so in a hotel room cleaning application, the robot will wipe some surfaces, pick up some trash, and help speed up the time to change over rooms. But we haven't yet worked out exactly how that entire workflow works. So people who are interested in getting experience with user design, user experience on a completely different thing. I mean, it's a very physical and embodied. So anybody who'd like to work on that, we'd be able to talk to.
Thank you.
More startups.
Hey everyone, I'm Charles. I'm the CTO co-founder of Bungie, and we realized that e-commerce has been getting incredibly more intense and cutthroat lately, and that they are constantly undercutting each other on price to try to capture more revenue and market share. And so me and my co-founders, we used to work at Amazon, and we actually built the V1 system for them where they can crawl all their competitors, and so they can have enabled the dynamic pricing that you guys might have experienced once in a while on Amazon.com. And so we saw them like, hey, can we build a V2 of this and offer it to other people, other companies that can definitely utilize the same technology? And so far here at Bungie, we've built the state-of-the-art crawling system where we can bypass all captcha detection and bot detections, and so we can always get them the data that they need to feed their pricing algorithms and machine learning algorithms at scale. And our vision going forward is like, hey, now that we have all this data, can we not only provide them the raw data, but can we provide smaller companies like SMBs insights and recommendations on what their price should be, when they should sell it, their promotions, etc. And so we're looking for people who are interested in data science problems that can take a lot of data, generate insights out of it, and stuff like that. So if anyone's interested, let me know.
Great. Thank you. You all know with startups? Well, thank you for all the founders and the startup folks showing up. These are only a few startups that could show up because a lot of you registered only today. I couldn't extend the invitation to all the startups to come. So, we have a list of all the startups on the webpage. Please do look at that. And please hang out with the startup folks here. Go ask them questions. Yeah, if you haven't done, please do sign up. Yeah. I mean, one thing I just want to tell as a fellow postdoc is like, I used to work on RNAi delivery into viruses. Treating viruses and cancers was my expertise. My PhD was organic chemistry. Now I'm doing hardware. On my own startup company, I've been building some hardware. And as of today, I've been working with an autonomous car company building their LiDAR systems. I think I'm proud of the fact that postdocs can learn fast, and you can actually, get out of your comfort zone and give it a shot. Don't restrict yourself to just whatever you're doing right now. The opportunities, Berkeley is the place. These people are going to make a lot of money. I'm counting on SkyDeck and all these people making a lot of money. Come on early on, if they can hire you, there'll be a lot of stock options and there's, fame, pain. Yes, everything comes in a package. But, hang out with them. Yeah? And if nothing, come here, check out the beautiful views. They have like a happy hour every Friday from 4 to 6. Come talk to the startup companies, get some beer. The beer there, Hopsy, was actually by a startup from SkyDeck. So try the beer, more pizza, and just talk to each other. And that was the main reason. I want you guys to know each other and also know about the program. Come learn about the startup companies and come back. I want you here. Okay? Thank you.